I have to start with probably, the human highlight reel the last couple of weeks, and it's been Shohei Ohtani. We're looking forward to him on the mound, looking forward to him at the plate. There's just so much excitement surrounding what he's brought to the game so far. How excited are you to see him on this big stage tonight?
Jen, I must say, even people who have done it a long time like me, this guy is electrifying to all of us. And it's because we haven't seen this before. Even Babe Ruth, he only did it 1 year, really, at this level. So Shohei Ohtani, of course, this is his first year doing it like this. But just the way he is going about it, it's a much different sport than it was when the Babe played. International players, black players, players that didn't exist in baseball back then. So to see his immense skill and to see the ability, the strength to carry out both at such a high level for such a sustained period, it's kind of jaw-dropping, to say the least. And tonight is the fitting apex of this, and he's going to be the leadoff hitter as well for the American League.
Is he changing the approach to baseball when you look at a pitcher that can also bat?
What you're asking is, will there be other Ohtanis? Now, I'm not sure the answer is yes because of his unique skill set, but we have seen guys, even now in the sport, that can pitch and hit. Two of them actually are all-stars. Jared Walsh from the Angels was a pitcher. So was Jake Cronenworth for the Padres. But the difference is that one of their skills surged ahead of the other, in their cases, the offensive skills. And at that point, their team said, okay, stick to that. With Ohtani, the key here is he is able to do both at a high level. So no one's saying, I'd rather see him pitch or I'd rather see him hit. He is actually better doing both. I talked to their hitting coach, Jeremy Reed, and he said the fact that he has to go through such a detailed routine each day just to get through the day to prepare for both, it kind of keeps him focused in a way that when he's just doing one, he gets almost obsessive and he's better off kind of multitasking.
Ken, I understand, and deservedly so, Shohei is thus far the story of the season, and he could end up being the deserved face of the league, moving forward. But a guy who might be, to me, just as exciting, but in a different way, is Tatis. I think Tatis is the most electrifying guy in the sport, right next to Ohtani. Do you think, and do people around baseball think, Tatis has best player in the world upside?
Absolutely, Nick. This guy, the guy we're watching right now, what he can do physically is unlike pretty much anybody I've ever seen. And he can contort his body. He can make throws like that. He can do all kinds of things on a baseball field. Right now, 28 home runs, 20 stolen bases. And keep in mind, he's missed 19 games. This could be the first player in history, not necessarily this year, but 50, down the line, 50. With a 50 home run, 50 stolen base season. Yeah. That speaks to his ability. He's got to stay healthy. He has to clean it up a little bit defensively at shortstop. He was really good last year, not so good this year. But my goodness, he is electric, and he's another guy, like Ohtani. When he's on the field, you cannot take your eyes off him.
Well, Jay-Z's going to have to open up a new club, 50-50 club with Tatis there. Ken, what do you think about Aaron Judge batting fourth? At the same time, it feels like the Yankees have sort of like drifted in behind the storylines. Like, hey, remember the Yankees, the old powerhouse? They're in third place now. How do you see the Yankees bouncing back in the second half of the year?
I don't know if they do, Kevin. And they're a team that right now has deficiencies all over the place. We've talked a lot in baseball about their offensive deficiencies. Just their overly right-handed lineup. They're not athletic the way they once were. They are a team that just is flawed in that respect. It's a roster construction issue. They also have questions in their starting rotation. It's Garrett Cole and a bunch of guys who in the second half we're not sure how they're going to perform. And Aroldis Chapman in the closer's role has struggled. So up and down, there are problems on that roster. They have 8 games with the Red Sox coming up pretty much right after the break, 4 and then 4 a little bit later. Those are going to be quite telling for them and to see what they do at the trade deadline. But right now, it seems every time they take a step forward, they had a big step forward Saturday with that Garrett Cole master performance. Then they take a step backward with the Altuve game on Sunday. So it's difficult to see them right now being a playoff team. It can change, but I'm not feeling it.
I'm with you, Ken. Remember, you and I, we go way back. You and I used to stand on that Yankee Stadium, and we'd be able to write the game before it even started, win, and then we could go home. It was like a no-brainer, and now I can't even get through a game. They stress me out. The other player who gets me so excited and who has gotten me so excited, Nick loves Tatis. Brandon's been on Shohei. Jacob deGrom's been really fun to watch. What are people saying about the first half he's had?
It's historic, Jenna. There's no question about it. And except for a couple of physical hiccups, it has been one of the most brilliant first halves we've ever seen from a starting pitcher. And he also is a guy that is seemingly immune to this foreign substance issue. It seems that he wasn't using them, one of the few.
Yeah.
So here's a guy dominating at a level we haven't seen since Bob Gibson in 1968. There has been talk he could get his ERA under 1 for the season. That's unheard of in this sport, in this era. So, yes, he's been absolutely dominant. The only question is health. We all want to see him healthy. At times this season, it has looked like men against boys with him on the mound. And that is, in this sport, it's like any other sport. These are the best players in the world. And for one guy to be that dominant, it's just stunning.
Can we stay on deGrom for a moment? Because I see the numbers, but the numbers are so out of whack compared to Apex Pedro, Apex Maddox, Apex, like, what? Why is he this good? I know that sounds dumb, but like nobody should be this much statistically better than some of the best seasons we've seen recently. So what is happening here?
Nick, that's an entirely fair point. And Apex Pedro was pretty darn good, as was Apex a few other pitchers. But Pedro's the guy that stands out for me. And with deGrom, over the years, his velocity has improved, which is rare in a pitcher. He's throwing 99 regularly. He also has improved his command. He is able to seemingly put the ball where he wants it with all of his pitches. And that, when you add that all up with his competitiveness, one of the most competitive guys out there, it all just is a perfect package. And that is what has happened. The other thing that is so unique about him is the elasticity of his body. He has been relatively healthy over the years because he's this athletic, whippy guy, and it seems to come easy for him. So I don't know if this continues the whole season. It's hard to imagine it continuing the whole season, but I will say this. It was hard to even imagine it for a half a season in this day and age when guys are swinging for home runs and connecting often. And yet he is, like you said, above all of those guys. Context stats, when you look at them, and it's happening. It's happening on a nightly basis when he's on the mound.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.